When every ship is going down, I don't feel nothing when I hear you say, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Hey guys, it's BatChat. We had a tournament the other night, and instead of showing you guys the whole tournament, I think I want to show you this section, the section where we faced Purpl in the semifinals. It's the most interesting games that we've had with them and during this tournament, so I figured it'd be best to do an analysis on this. So, what's our thought process here? Well, our thought process here is to basically try to stonewall A, and then use Mellow and his BatChat to kind of deal with what's at B and C there. Now, the meta on this map is very much to go heavy to A. You don't often see many plays for C, so that's kind of what we're trying to do at the moment, is just trying to have a presence at A in some form or fashion. Now, I believe we make a mistake here as far as we consolidated a bit too much to try to deal with this IS-7 here. I shouldn't have come this far up at this point. I should have probably stayed a bit farther back, because I'm not going to get a good shot at him. And now, if you take a look, what they're actually about to do is they're actually about to consolidate for a push through towards our side. They're going to start trying to take out Purple Haze and his IS-7 there. And I don't really have a shot there. I shouldn't have been fucking around with that. So, my thought process is at this point that I need to do my best to help stop the push that they're doing right here. But as you can see, since we're all grouped up here, they only have to look one direction as they're coming through, and it's gonna cost us here, unfortunately. So we've got an autoloader, and now basically he's out of shells, and he's gonna be having to fall back there, and Purpl and his IS-7 is not doing too hot at the moment. So basically, it kind of cost us that we pushed through instead of consolidated back and tried to kill these 5 guys that are here. And, you know, there's only so much that 3 people can do against 5 at that point. So what we're going to try to do in the next round is to try to kind of mitigate the amount that they can focus us on one side. So as you can see, you know, all they had to do is focus one direction. There wasn't shots coming in from multiple directions. So we're going to be trying to change that in the next round. But Purpl did good to focus fire here. Still, it was kind of close. They did end up having a few low health tanks at the end there. And unfortunately, he gets a pretty bad shot off right there, but it doesn't matter too much. So as you can see, they kind of, what they did was they ignored our mouses, which was the bulk of our hit points there, and they just went straight for the lower health tanks like the IS-7 and the T-57 in order to focus us out early. And that's a fairly good strategy to have there. So we'll catch up once we get to the next battle. So we're getting into the next battle. Basically, same kind of strategy going on here. We now know that they pretty much send a Leopard to C, so we're going to try to go send Mellow over to C in order to counter that. Mellow's doing the calling, so it's a little bit more difficult for him to make calls over on the A side. So, you know, that kind of thing will come back to bite us a little bit later as far as making the proper calls go. But at this point, we know that they're probably going to send somebody to B as well, so we're going to try to counter that a little bit as well. And instead of sending both the majority of all of our tanks to the corner at A, we're going to try to send a little bit more towards the middle area. As you can see, they've already sent one guy in. So instead of fucking around, we just get in there with HE to basically make him useless there in capping. So at this point, I wasn't thinking that they were going to put their 268 there. Instead, I thought they were going to put their 268 somewhere not covering B, because I mean, you figure that they wouldn't be covering B if they've got that much of a good hold there, but they are. And he pops out for some unknown reason and gives me an easy shot. So this is a pretty easy hold right here, and I'm just kind of covering the bush, because if I can keep their 268 locked down, that's a pretty big tank that they've lost out of the fight. Now, I noticed the leopard, and I know he's going to poke here. He hasn't seen me, he doesn't know I'm spotted, but I go ahead and hit the adrenaline. He sees me right about there, and I'm willing to take this trade right here. It's 50-50 whether I could have gone through the turret there, but I did. Now, the big thing I want to keep is I want to keep them from flanking us at this point. I want to keep them from getting all the way around. So I'm going to keep my attention focused on that leopard at this point. And this does kind of cause a little issue for us, because it ends up being him taking me out of the fight as well. But I'm willing to do that because he has that DPM, and I do not want our guys to end up struggling against that. Now, luckily I proxy spot him here, and I'm not led on a wild goose chase. But he does end up getting away. I probably should have switched to HE here, but I wanted to guarantee the damage instead of maybe rolling low for like 400. So as you can see, we do lose Doom there in his mouse, but we're trading fairly well. They have several two-shot tanks for me, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they've got a mouse and an E100 there on the right. They're very liable to go ahead and push up and try to deal with glass. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put them in a crossfire. So now they have to either focus on glass or me. It's one or the other, and whoever they're not focusing on can get shots into them. So their mouse is now down to a one-shot. I'm going to go ahead and focus on the E100 now instead of working on their mouse. Could have shot their I7 potentially, but I wanted to go ahead and focus the E100. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to try to rush and angle as I'm rushing. He does end up missing the shot, which is kind of rare when you're in an E4. Go ahead and load the APCR, because even if I low roll, I want to guarantee that that kill. I don't want to have a chance of bouncing, which is fairly easy when you're in the E4. So what we're going to do right now is we're just going to consolidate at this point and finish off the last tank. And that went a lot better. As you can see, I stayed a bit farther back, and I held B at the rear a little bit more and came in as needed at the end. Mello did a good job of staying alive this game too, so that helped us quite a bit. So I will go ahead and catch up with you guys on the next map, which is going to be Canal. Okay, so here we are at Canal, driving my E5 to provide support from the hill in the back. The thought process here is we're going to send a mouse to go ahead and cap the C-cap, maybe another heavy tank there, and then we're going to send myself and two lighter tanks over to D to get those caps as soon as possible, because what we want to do is put cap pressure on. This map is a lot less about how you get kills, and it's a lot more about how you get the cap pressure, and the cap pressure is going to lead to which side wins, because which either side gets the cap pressure, the other side is going to have to push through a lot of open ground in order to get to the other caps, which is going to cause them to lose a lot of health, and it's going to cause you to have the health point advantage and the positional advantage in the end. So I get a little bit of server lag here, and the shot flies high, but apparently it hits. I'm not sure what the hell that was about, but you know, happens sometimes. Anyway, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to try to focus them out wherever they end up going. So basically, if they end up going to try to push C, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit back here, I'm going to light Glass back up in his mouse, and I'm just going to cover him and deny them C. At this point, they've got at least 4 or so people in the middle area. They've got that 2 IS-7s, 1 mouse, and the Leopard right around there. You can assume both of their AMX 50Bs went to the A cap there, and they're probably going to circle around eventually. So if we just hold right here, if we hold in the low ground, we have 3 or so people covering the left side, and 4 or so people covering the right side. So this should be able to be pretty easy. I've got that mouse locked down pretty well in the middle there. I do get a few wonky shots during this game, but you know that goes without saying for a heavy tank. So it's just a waiting game right now. We have the points lead, and if they're going to try to push up, we're just going to batter them. So pretty poor miss shot, as you can see on the mini map there. We knew it was going to happen eventually, but their AMXs are pushing up. So now if they attack Glass, all he has to do is fall back and let me cover him. All I need to have is spotting at this moment. So their mouse picks this moment to move up, just go for the turret shot. It's pretty easy. And with the E5, now that the E5 is buffed, this is a perfect holding spot for it. The turret is very troll. The upper plate is also very troll, so it's going to get a lot of bounces no matter who's firing at it. And this shot is unfortunate. Like, I don't know what the fuck that shot was. It's just absolute trash. But anyway, E5, good reliable tank for this spot for sure. So we've got the mouse locked down from at least 3 different directions, and we've got Tutor on the left covering C along with myself. So now the AMXs are kind of prodding and seeing what we've got covering C. What they could have done, I'm not saying this would have won them the game, but they could have tried to put one tank, maybe an IS-7 in C to stop our cap lead so we would be down on points, but they left it too late. Like, they really left it too late. So now all I have to do is cover with the E5, get a nice blind shot in the AMX. So now they're going to try to rush Tutor because they know that he's also covering them from the left there. So I'm just trying to find some decent shots over here. We end up almost taking out one of their AMXs here. Get a good shot right there on the move. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of just sitting, I'm going to go ahead and go help Tutor over there on the left. We end up having Purpl and Doom come up, but I decide that since we've got all those tanks coming in, I'm just going to go ahead and try to focus on who's trying to kill Glass at this moment, which is the IS-7. I end up getting in Doom's way here on accident, which is my fault. That's bad communication on my end, but we end up cinching the victory pretty easily, and I stopped the IS-7 from making any progress on that side. And that is how you play Canal. Pretty damn easy. So I want to offer GG's to Purpl and to ourselves. We ended up having a pretty good game, and that is my analysis for the end of that.